From the Home Slice News Center, this is the Daily Slice for Thursday, March 3rd, 2022. I'm D. Ray Knight, and this is what's going on. Here is the latest on the war in Ukraine. Russia and Ukraine are expected to hold a second round of talks today in Belarus. However, there appears to be little common ground between the two sides. The UN Refugee Agency says the tide of people fleeing Ukraine, including by car, train, and on foot, marks the swiftest exodus of refugees this century, as the number of people who have fled Ukraine since Russia invaded on February 24th has reached 1 million. Also, the UN General Assembly has condemned the invasion and called on Russia to withdraw its troops from Ukraine. Meanwhile, the city of Kyiv was rocked by explosions early Thursday morning, and Russian troops continued their assault on cities across the country. The Russian barrage had crippled Kherson on Wednesday, and Moscow claimed that they had taken control of the port city. Kherson Mayor Igor Koyakayev said Russian soldiers in the city were not being met with resistance from Ukraine forces, as it enacted a strict curfew and ordered civilians not to provoke the troops. In news closer to home, a woman is dead and a passenger is seriously injured after a vehicle rollover off Skyline Drive early Wednesday morning. Rapid City Police say the female driver, in her 20s, was ejected as the car rolled down a hill before coming to a rest east of the roadway. A passenger was ejected and was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. 2 more people in the car were wearing their seatbelt and received less severe injuries. Police are investigating the crash and say speed and alcohol both appear to be factors. An Oceti-Sakowin school has been dismissed by a South Dakota House committee, Amy Rose explains.
South Dakota House lawmakers have dismissed a proposal to fund 2 new schools structured around Oceti-Sakowin language and culture. It deals a blow to Native American educators who have tried for years to get state support to rethink schooling in their communities. The Republican-controlled House Education Committee rejected the bill Wednesday on a 4-8 vote, and the proposal had already passed the Senate. It was the 3rd year that Lakota lawmakers have brought the idea to fund the community-based schools through the state's public school system. However, organizations representing school districts oppose the bill. They say that language immersion schools are already happening.
The South Dakota legislature has passed a proposal from Governor Kristi Noem that aims to make the state one of the hardest places in the U.S. to get abortion pills. But it won't actually be enacted unless the state prevails in a federal court battle. The bill requires women seeking an abortion to make 3 separate trips to a doctor in order to take abortion pills. However, the bill contains language that stipulates most of it won't take effect unless the state convinces a federal judge to lift a preliminary injunction against a similar rule Noem attempted to enact last year. In national news, the U.S. House has passed a resolution in support of Ukraine. Chrissy Davies has more.
The House has overwhelmingly approved a resolution that, in its own words, steadfastly, staunchly, proudly, and fervently supports Ukraine. Lawmakers said Wednesday that history is watching the way the world responds as Ukrainians fight to save their country from invasion by Russia. Many in Congress say more must be done to help Ukraine and cut off Russian President Vladimir Putin's ability to wage war. In the Senate, Republican Lindsey Graham of South Carolina is introducing a resolution backing Ukraine's claim in international court that Putin has committed war crimes. Congress is preparing at least $6.4 billion in military and humanitarian assistance for Ukraine.
A House panel investigating the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol says that its evidence suggests crimes may have been committed by former President Donald Trump and his associates. The panel points to Trump's failed effort to overturn the outcome of the 2020 presidential election. In a filing in federal court on Wednesday, the House committee says Trump and his associates engaged in a criminal conspiracy to prevent Congress from certifying Democrat Joe Biden's victory. The lawmakers also say Trump, and those working with him, spread false information and pressured state officials to overturn the results, potentially violating multiple federal laws. Your weather forecast from the Home Slice Weather Center. Freezing fog early today will give way to partly cloudy skies and a high of 47. Tonight's low, 32. And that was your Daily Slice for Thursday, March 3rd, 2022. The Daily Slice is a production of Home Slice Media Group, hosted by D. Ray Knight with Amy Rose and Chrissy Davies. Executive producer Mark Houston. Engineered by Chris Jacquez. I'm D. Ray Knight. Have a great day.